In water-accessible Southeast, many of our summer visitors get their impressions and images of our land from the deck of a cruise ship. For those of us who live here year-round, it's not unusual to see these large ocean-going ships coming into our harbors, tying up at our docks and disgorging 1,000 passengers. It is, however, a bit more unusual for us locals to see the inside of these ships, meet the people who run them, and the people who pay to ride on them.
The original Love Boat no longer sails here, but every summer about 18 versions of the same theme grace southeastern waters. Our cruise began in Prince Rupert, British Columbia on the TSS Fair Sky. While we had only 24 hours aboard this floating 5-star hotel, it was enough to understand why some people become cruise addicts. How many cruises have you been on?
18. This will be the 18th.
What's the longest one you've ever been on?
34 days, transatlantic to Italy, and then a 10-day Greek island cruise, and then back home. But in the States, the longest has been 20 days when we did Panama Canal on the Fair Sea.
Virginia and Jim Horace go on a cruise nearly every year. Once you take one, they say, you're hooked.
It's a total vacation. Everything is, there's no living out of a suitcase. Once you get aboard, put your clothes away, then you're free to do whatever you want to, have fun, whatever, and everything is provided. Entertainment, fine restaurants, I mean, it's just, and they're taking you to places where you can do other things. Can't compare.
The Fair Sky is one of the largest vessels to sail southeast, with every amenity available in a small city. It cost $150 million to build. Captain Rodolfo Potenzoni spent 2 years on dry land overseeing construction. That's tough duty, he says, for a ship's captain, but it paid off. He now commands the Fair Sky.
But of course, there's a responsibility, you know. I mean, you have 1,200 passengers, 550 crew members, and you are a certain way, you are responsible of what, so you never relax completely. I never, when I'm on the ship, when I go retire, I go to bed, I never sleep very sound, you know.
To make a cruise successful, Potenzoni says, you must make the passengers happy. And who makes up such a passenger list? Cruise director Alan Scott says there's no typical cruiser, but
the people who travel on ships today, especially on long cruises, 2 weeks, and especially to a cooler section of the world, Alaska, are usually a little older than the people who take a cruise to the Mediterranean or the Caribbean or Mexico, things of that nature. So from that standpoint, our passengers here to Alaska are a little bit older, but they have a tremendous search for adventure. They're very keen, very alert, wonderful people. They really are. I don't know that they're typical or not, though. When you have 1,100 people on board a ship, obviously you're going to run into a bad apple. But wow, they are just great people on the ships, and that's another reason why I like it out here.
Alaska is one of 3 major ports in the world to offer short luxury cruises from 7 to 14 days. Over 100,000 visitors come to our state via cruise ship every year. Every ship anchors in Juneau. In fact, the capital city has become the most important cruise port in Alaska, according to Cunard General Manager Ellen Bennell. His statistics indicate the average passenger spends a total of $1,000 in the various Alaskan ports of call.
2,000 people from 3 ships can be landed suddenly on your doorstep. What are you going to do with them? You're going to have all the coaches are going to be arranged. They're going to have all the tours and the guides and the hotels and the shops. They're all going to be prepared to have this influx of people arriving on their doorstep. And they're all spending. They're all buying.
Cunard Line surveys show 41% of the passengers cruising to Alaska for the first time will return to our state the same way.
It is unique in all the states of America. You're part of nature. You're really living it. You're right there. And plus the ship being your floating hotel, your flotel, with all the comforts of the ship. It fits in. It's a very good package.
Just how much influence has the television series Love Boat had on the sailing boom? Well, ask the captain of the real Love Boat, the Island Princess.
It certainly had a tremendous impact on Princess, and I think it had a tremendous impact on cruising, because there's no doubt about it. I think cruising gives you the type of holiday that everybody wants to have.
There's no question it has to have had a big plus input on the cruise business, because so many people are of the opinion that, well, cruising is just, you've seen it in the movies, and so cruising is for very, very wealthy and for very, very old, and nothing could be farther from the truth. As a matter of fact, we find today that about 40% of first-time passengers are under the age of 35. That's got to be because they've seen this thing on the television.
While the television series may bring more people aboard, captains, cruise directors, and passengers will tell you Love Boat is not the real thing.
It is not just a love boat. The cruise director does not walk around with a clipboard in his hand and just stand and introduce the star who's going to perform this evening. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of wonderful work. I put in long hours and long days. I don't think it's entirely because I'm inefficient and not organized. I think it's because I really like people, I really want to be with them, and I do want to make the Sitmar experience the best vacation they've ever had.
There are several aspects of Love Boat missing on an Alaska cruise. For example, you seldom see bathing beauties hanging around the pool. Instead, they're bundled in coats and blankets.
When the water gets up to 90 degrees, then I'll go in.
Of course, if you really want to get on television,
Do you want to...
How was it?
It was cool.
You know, you didn't have to do it just to be on television.
I didn't? Why did I do it then? I thought someone said I was going to win a free cruise. No?
No.
This is it?
Yes, it is. And he didn't win any prizes for his swim.
It's nice.
How cold is it? 32 degrees?
No, 75 degrees.
75?
Yeah.
It's going to be 32.
But most of the passengers on the Canada-Alaska cruise don't need such diversion. They're engrossed in the beautiful scenery the glaciers and shorelines provide, anticipating the call of the last frontier.
For me, this is the way to see Southeast.
1936, and the Princess Charlotte came up on that ship. I don't think it's in existence anymore, but the place sure has changed. Never recognize it. It's beautiful.
Oh, Alaska's a wonderful country. A lot of beauty, and I think it's a very exciting country. I've been here before, and each time I see a lot of things that I haven't seen before, and met a lot of interesting people, too, especially on the cruise like this one.
After 40 years of commanding cruise ships around the world, Sitmar Fleet Commodore Giuseppe Cortini would rather sail to Alaska than anywhere else.
I like to keep back in Alaska. Of course, there are many other places that I like around the world. I have a beautiful souvenir. I've been around the world for almost 40 years, always cruising, and I think there are a few places that I haven't visited. I have admitted that some place still attract me very much. But in Alaska, it's not only the question to visit. It's something for me like to be born again.
We have arrived in Juneau, the capital of the great state of Alaska. We'd like to remind all of our passengers that the TSS Fair Sky sails promptly for Seward, Alaska at 7 p.m. All passengers should be on board at least 15 minutes before departure. The ship has been cleared by the local authorities, and passengers wishing to go ashore may do so. Have a great day here in Juneau, Alaska.
From the uncrowded state ferries in the winter to the crowded cruise ships in the summer, to a man working hard to fill every ship, plane, and car with visitors, it's all part of life in picturesque Southeast. We'll be back again next week with another installment on our Rain Country Journal, and hopefully you'll join us then. I'm Scott Foster. Have a good day.